Hello, welcome to another book report. One that I enjoyed very much. It was a fun one. Shakespearean, On Life and Language in the Times of Disruption by Robert McCrum. Great last name. An old friend of mine has that last name. Anyway, I don't really have any notes on it. I mean, it just, there were a couple times I almost put it down, but it's just so I mean, I love Shakespeare. Okay, there have been a couple times in my life, starting quite young. What grade was that? I guess I was in probably. Oh no! That was high school, freshman year of high school. So I would have been like 13 or 14. Reading Romeo and Juliet, which led me to, I forget what the other one was. Probably Richard II, maybe. Anyway, and then other times in my life, just anyway. Basically, Shakespeare has been a major influence in my life a few times, and has completely blown me away in terms of his emotional, psychological, and social insights and brilliance, and the ability to bring that all together with some of the most beautiful English I've ever read. So I understand some people can't get into it. I would say, pick one that the critics, that your personal tastes might lead you to, based on critical reviews, and just stick with it. It takes, even if I haven't read any Shakespeare in, a few years, it even takes, even as a great lover of Shakespeare, it can take a few pages to kind of get back into it, but once you're in there, boom, I mean, it's amazing. Anyway, so this book is not for everyone, but if you love Shakespeare, I think you will enjoy this book immensely. It's a well-written, fun, often light, sometimes historically interesting travel through, frankly, the life of Shakespeare. Although, like the title shows, it's more about how, in some respects, it's more about how he's influenced culture, English as a language, and identities, particularly the British and North American identities, which I really appreciated, because Shakespeare was a major influence on the early immigrants and all the way through. I mean, so Shakespeare did have a real influence in America as well, particularly the United States, but also Canada. I mean, the whole English-speaking world. But he focuses more on Britain and North America in terms of long-term influences and the development of Shakespearean, quote unquote. But he does it all by reviewing Shakespeare's works chronologically and to a certain degree autobiographically. So he kind of follows Shakespeare's life, what little we know of it, and honestly, that was some of the more fascinating bits for me. More recent scholarship has revealed small but revealing details of Shakespeare's life, particularly that we now are completely sure that all references to Shakespeare, all contemporary references to Shakespeare, due to some legal cases at the time, there's compelling evidence that there was only one person referred to as Shakespeare at the time he was alive. So anyway, basically that the idea that Francis Bacon or somebody else wrote all of Shakespeare's plays and he just put his name on it is almost certainly false. So, which I had kind of come to the conclusion years ago anyway, particularly almost from a class slash snobbery perspective, right? I mean, it's just sort of like almost everybody who thinks the Shakespeare plays were written by somebody else, when you really dig into it, it's kind of like, well, how can this, son of an, of a glove maker write the most beautiful, English ever written? He's too low class. His family is too low class for him to have written it. I mean, it's just anyway. Sorry about that little aside. So basically, fun, enjoyable read, well written for anybody who loves Shakespeare. If you don't love Shakespeare, there's no reason to even pick this up. But I encourage all the people who love English, if you don't love Shakespeare, give it a try. Stick with it. Ask a Shakespeare lover in your circle which play fits your personality the best. Pick it up. Have the internet to look up words you don't know handy, or your phone or whatever, or a book with supporting that play, and just stick with it. It might take 10, 20 pages or even more, but in my experience, things will click and gel, and you once you're in the mind of Shakespeare, it's a beautiful place to be. So anyway, until the next book report, happy reading.